Hi, my dear students. I am Sunira from Department of Physics, Government College, Madapalli. Today, we will learn about modulation and group velocity. This is the sixth lecture, the module 6 for the module 4 waves, which is in part of second semester BSc Physics of Calicut University. We learned about different types of waves and their properties in our previous lectures. In this lecture, we learn what is the superposition of waves and their related phenomena. All of you are listening to music. Most of us like music. The musical notes from musical instruments are produced by the superposition of harmonic oscillations. Similarly, our electronic equipments like radio and TV receives signals by the modulation of carrier signal with the information signal. All these are real life experiences of superposition of waves. Similarly, in your high school classes, you learned about diffraction and interference. They are also different types of superpositions of waves. If two waves with nearly same but not quite same frequency superimpose, they produce beats. The figure in this slide shows the beats produced by musical instruments. Beats formed from many frequency components are called modulations or wave packets or wave glue. These can be traveling modulations, then they can carry energy. They move with group velocity. A harmonic traveling wave having a single frequency cannot carry any information. But if we can modulate the signal with the information carrying signal, it can be sent to long distance and decoded from the receiver. This diagram shows the formation of a wave packet by the superposition of different frequency components. If we want to send signals from radio stations to the distant audiences, we need high power signals. But all of you know that the audio signal frequency lies in between 20 Hz to 20 kHz. So their frequency is very low and so the power is also very small. So it is very difficult task to send these signals to long distances without loss of information. In this situation, it is always feasible to use high frequency signals. So we use high frequency signal as carrier and modulate each with the information carrying signal, and together this modulation send to long distances. In that case, we cannot lose our information. In this case, we use high frequency signals as carrier. Then we superimpose this carrier with the audio signal. The resultant wave is called modulated signal. This process is called modulation. The modulated signal transmitted from the station to the distant receiver with high frequency, and so the audio signal is carried by the modulated wave or wave packet. What is meant by modulation? Modulation is a method of changing some characteristics of the wave. We can do this modulation mainly by three ways. The first one is called amplitude modulation. In the amplitude of the carrier wave is changed by the information carrying signal or the audio signal. In the case of frequency modulation, the frequency of the carrier wave is modulated by the information carrying signal or audio signal. In the third case, phase modulation, the phase of the carrier wave is modulated by the audio signal or the information carrying signal. These are the main three types of modulation. As a first example, we can learn in detail amplitude modulation. First, we consider a system in which superposition of two harmonic oscillations occur. Assume an infinitely long string. Its one end is driven by a transmitter. This end is denoted by Z equal to 0. This transmitter oscillates in a superposition of two harmonic frequencies omega 1 and omega 2. For simplicity, we can assume that the amplitudes and phase constants of these two oscillations are same. That means the only parameter differ is the frequency. The displacement at the oscillating output of the transmitter is represented by capital D. It is a time depending function. So this d of t can be written as a cos omega 1 t plus a cos omega 2 t. We already found that these two harmonic oscillations, here they are a cos omega 1 t and the second one is a cos omega 2 t. They have same amplitude and same phase, but they differ by the frequency omega 1 and omega 2. Now we can simplify this expression for the displacement. For that, consider the trigonometric identities cos A plus B. All of you learned in your plus 2 class that cos A plus B equal to cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. Similarly, cos A minus B equal to cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. If you add these two terms together, cos O plus B plus cos A minus B gives you 2 cos A cos B. Comparing this expression with your equation 1, you can see that we can use equation 2 to simplify equation 1. So, comparing with equation 1, you get that A plus B equal to omega 1 t and A minus B equal to omega 2 t. So, A plus B equal to omega 1 t and A minus B equal to omega 2 t. Now, adding these two equations, you get A that is equal to omega 1 plus omega 2 into t by 2. Similarly, B equal to omega 1 minus omega 2 into t by 2. Now, we can rewrite the equation 1 as in the trigonometric identity equation 2. So, you get the displacement capital D equal to 2a cos omega 1 minus omega 2 t by 2 into cos omega 1 plus omega 2 t by 2. Modulational angular frequency omega mod is equal to omega 1 minus omega 2 by 2. Similarly, we can define average angular frequency omega equal to omega 1 plus omega 2 by 2. Now, this equation 1 takes the new form in terms of omega mod and omega AV. That is, d of t equal to a mod t cos omega AVT. Here, the equation 4 is an harmonic oscillation with angular frequency omega average, but its amplitude a mod t itself varies harmonically with modulational angular frequency omega 1 minus omega 2 by 2. If the two frequencies are comparable magnitudes, the modulational frequency is small comparing with the average frequency omega AV. In this case, the resultant modulated wave can be treated as a harmonic oscillation with average frequency omega AV. Actually, its amplitude varies harmonically with modulational frequency, which is very small comparing with the average angular frequency. So, we can extend these concepts to many types of harmonic oscillations. Suppose our amplitude modulated wave is created by using many number of harmonic oscillations with varying frequencies. In that case, each term has its own amplitude, frequency, and phase constant. The resultant wave mathematically looks like as we seen in equation 4, in which the displacement is given by A mod cos omega AVT. As an example, you can think of amplitude modulated waves from radio stations. Now we can learn in detail amplitude modulation. In this case, as a first example, we learn superposition of two sinusoidal traveling waves. As all of you know, the sinusoidal traveling wave is represented by psi of zt equal to a cos omega 1t minus k1z. Here we assume that the wave is propagating along z direction. Now, there are two sinusoidal traveling waves with frequencies omega 1 and omega 2. In this case, the resultant displacement due to the superposition of these two waves is given by psi of zt equal to a cos omega 1t minus k1z plus a cos omega 2t minus k2z. Now we can simplify this equation 6 just like we did in superposition of two harmonic oscillations. I can't repeat the mathematical procedure again here. I think you can do it yourself because in earlier slides we have done it. So by comparing with that, you can complete the derivation here itself. So after simplifying, we get equation 6 in new form such that psi of zt equal to a mod zt cos omega avt minus k avz. In this case, modulated amplitude of the modulated wave is equal to 2a cos omega mod t minus k mod z. Here, the modulational angular frequency is defined just as we did in harmonic oscillations, that is omega 1 minus omega 2 by 2. Now there is k mod which represents modulational wave vector k. K k mod equal to k1 minus k2 by 2. Similarly, the k average is defined as k1 plus k2 by 2. Omega average or angular frequency, average angular frequency is equal to omega 1 plus omega 2 by 2. Now we can check what is the modulation velocity, or what with what velocity the modulated wave propagates. The velocity of the propagation of the modulated wave is called modulation velocity. For a constant value of the modulation amplitude, A mod Zt, we have to maintain a constant value for its argument. That is omega mod t minus k mod z. When t increases by dt, z must increase by dz in such a way that the increment in the argument remains 0. In this slide, we will try to derive the modulation velocity. So, here we assume for a constant value of the amplitude of the modulated wave, that means for a constant A mod, we have to maintain the constant value for its argument. As all of you know, the resultant wave is represented by A mod cos omega average t. So, the amplitude of the modulated wave is represented by A mod, that is A cos omega mod t. A cos omega mod t minus k mod z. So, the argument of this function is omega mod t minus k mod z. In order to keep the amplitude constant, this term should be 0. That means as t increases by dt, z must increase by the same amount dz in such a way that the increment in the argument remains 0. Then only the amplitude A mod remains constant. Now we can use this condition to analyze modulation velocity. So omega mod dt minus k mod dz equal to 0. By rearranging the expression, the modulation velocity dz by dt equal to v mod, that's equal to omega mod by k mod, that is equal to omega 1 minus omega 2 by k1 minus k2. So omega and k are related by a dispersion relation of the form omega equal to omega of k. So once we know k1, we can find out omega 1, and if we know k2, we can find out omega 2. That is, omega 1 is a function of k1 and omega 2 is a function of k2. In order to simplify the expression, we can use Taylor expansion of angular frequency omega at k equal to k average. Then the modulation velocity v mod equal to omega of k1 minus omega of k2 divided by k1 minus k2. This is equal to d omega by dk plus this. Further terms represent higher order components of Taylor series. But for nearest frequencies, the difference in their angular frequency is very small, and so we can neglect higher derivatives of Taylor series. So the modulation velocity v mod becomes the group velocity Vg, which is equal to d omega by dk. Now we can check what happens to a non-dispersive media. We already found that the wave packet or modulated wave moves with group velocity, not with average velocity. So, the group velocity and the phase velocity are same for non-dispersive media. That is the peculiarity of non-dispersive media. In that case, omega equal to V phi k. V phi represents phase velocity and k the corresponding wave vector. If we differentiate this expression, we get group velocity, that is Vg equal to d omega by dk, that is equal to V phi plus k dV phi by dk. So Vg equal to V phi if dV phi by dk equal to 0. That means for non-dispersive media, the phase velocity is not a function of wave vector k. So its first derivative with respect to k is equal to 0. In that case, the group velocity and the phase velocity both are same. One of the example is electromagnetic waves in vacuum. In that case, you can see that its phase velocity and group velocity both are same. The another example is sound waves in a continuous medium. Similarly, the transverse waves on a continuous string, etc., are examples for non-dispersive media. Now we can conclude our lecture. In this lecture, we learned about superposition of waves. If only two frequencies superimpose together, we call it as beat. If there are more than two frequencies, more than two harmonic oscillations with varying frequencies, then it gives modulated waves or wave packets. The procedure is called modulation. Then we learned in this chapter the mathematical representation of modulation. That is, the resultant modulated wave has a modulated amplitude and an harmonically varying part with average angular frequency. The amplitude of the modulated wave varies harmonically with slow angular frequency omega mod. Similarly, a wave packet moves with group velocity, not with average angular velocity. Similarly, the phase velocity and the group velocity both are same for non-dispersive waves or non-dispersive media. These are the main points we learned in this lecture. Now you can check whether you learned everything in this lecture. For that, try to answer the following questions. This will help you to prepare your notes for studying well. In this slide also, there are certain questions including paragraph questions or problems. You can try to find answers with respect to the slides in this lecture. If you have any doubt related with any questions in this lecture, you can feel free to contact me. These are certain problems that you can find out answers. Thank you.